Hey everybody, welcome back to Brightford Acres. It's me, Taylor, and once again, we're here at the schoolhouse, just doing a little bit of a weekly update and showing you guys the progress of how everything is growing. And as you can see, it's growing pretty good. Unfortunately, there are a little bit of weeds, but I'm actually not too worried about it because the produce plants are doing really good. Three Sisters garden looks great. We even have some potatoes that have germinated. The onions are getting bigger. Our pumpkins and watermelons that we planted last week haven't germinated yet, but I didn't really expect them to because it's only been about a week and they need at least 7 to 14 days to germinate. Even though it's been a few years since I started gardening and I have a few years of experience under my belt and I can now identify plants by sight, I know a lot of people can't. So I wanted to make a little bit of a guide that could help you determine whether your plant in your garden is a plant that you planted or a weed. We'll start here in the Three Sisters garden. We'll start from the outside. So this is a squash plant. Many squash plants, like pumpkins, summer squash, winter squash, all start the same. The first two leaves that ever pop out are called the cotyledons, and the first leaf that looks a little bit different is called a true leaf. On squash plants, the cotyledons always look oval shape, or like a teardrop shape, and the first true leaf and the rest of the true leaves will start to be a little jagged around the edges like this. Moving inwards, we have a bean plant. Many different bean plants actually look different when they're starting to grow, but this is a pole bean. Bush beans and peas might look slightly different depending on the cultivar that you purchased, and you can usually tell that a bean is a bean because the seed will actually stay on the plant as the first cotyledons. The true leaves look slightly heart-shaped on this pole bean, but on a pea plant they might look slightly different. Finally, on the inside here we have corn. Corn is actually a modified grass, and you will be able to tell that it's corn because it's basically a bright green grass that has a hollow center. The water goes down, and that's how it gets watered. Coming over here to our potato mounds, you can always tell that it's a potato because they are nice and fluffy leaves. If you go down and touch the leaves, they have little hairs on them. Unlike other plants in the nightshade family, potatoes don't actually have like that tomatoey, nightshadey smell. And eventually, they will actually grow potato berries, which are poisonous, so don't eat them. But they'll grow potato berries that look slightly similar to other plants in the nightshade family because of the blackberries that they produce. Onions are pretty easy to identify because they look like chives, because that's what they are. You can see that we had a visitor tromp through here. There's lots of deer tracks, but honestly I'm not worried about the deer because they didn't even eat anything. I see no bite marks on any of the corn. Plus I gave them their own little like corn sacrifice over there, so I'm hoping they understand my intention and actually go eat the corn from over there and leave this corn alone. If you remember, a few weeks ago, we had a little bit of a window incident where we had a hole in a greenhouse for a few weeks, and my dad actually put heavy-duty glue up there this time. After we fixed it the first time, it fell off. But then we fixed it again the second time, and it's good now. So, I'm slightly on edge because I actually saw a bear in the woods. No kidding. I literally like saw its face. It was like poking around the tree line. Pretty scary. But it ran away. So I should be fine. There's a fence blocking me between any possible bear attacks. Not that they would attack. Anyways, so we have some bare root asparagus in this bag. And I'm just going to kind of throw it in here and see what happens. I think it's been kind of hanging out over the winter, so it's a little dried out. But it should be just fine because it's a perennial plant. It should come right back, be just fine. So I'm going to dig a little trench over here, little hole, and plop the roots in. And then I have some butternut squash from my grandpa in my back pocket that I'm going to plant in one of the raised beds. So let's get to it.
The last thing I wanted to show you guys this week was this really cool trellis that my dad and I built out of welded wire fabric. Thank you guys so much for watching another video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.